Hello, Calico BonEsterphon here. SteamTeam has kindly let me introduce this quiz. You know, he's a really good friend and I'm lucky to know him. You wrote this one, didn't you? Anyway, today we're covering episodes 11 to 15 of Season 1, and I'm going to be asked 5 questions about each episode, which makes 25 in total. If you want to play along at home, we have put the links of the same episodes that I've watched just before answering the questions in the description. So go on and watch them and then come back here. But if you really want to make it difficult for yourself, don't watch the episodes at all and see how much you can remember. And please bear in mind that I'm not really a Thomas fan. So some questions may be a bit too easy for you older fans. Remember though, these are the questions that are based on the restored UK versions of the episodes.
Okay, before we start the quiz, I need to ask you, Calico BonEsterphon, have you seen the questions I'm about to ask, and can you confirm that they have been held by me in a sealed envelope?
I can confirm that.
So you haven't seen the questions, and they have been held by me?
I don't know the questions, and they have been in that envelope which is in your hand.
Yes. So, with all that out of the way, let's crack on. On to the first episode, Thomas and the Guard. Whose train does Thomas have to wait for? A. Gordon, B. Henry, C. Percy, or D. Edward?
It's B. Henry. He had to wait some time and he blew his whistle impatiently.
I believe he did, yes. Question 2. What does Thomas say Henry needs? A. An overhaul, B. Special coal, C. Shutting up in the sheds, or D. Exercise?
C would have been highly funny, but I think it's D. Exercise.
It is. How a train's meant to do exercise? Well, you know, that's not up for debate here. Right, question 3. When the narrator says they waited and waited, but the guard didn't come, how many passengers can be seen? A. 3, B. 6, C. 1, or D. 9?
A. 3.
3 is quite correct. There's more later on, but obviously we're counting the ones that when the narrator said what I just said. Anyway, question 4. What does the guard have to drink? A. Water, B. Milk, C. Orange squash, or D. Coffee?
B. A glass of milk.
Well, I certainly hope it was milk. How many shots or scenes from this episode are used in the classic opening title sequence? A. 2, B. 3, or C. 1, or D. None?
B. 3. It's the one where he's at the station. There's one where he's going past the windmill, and there's the one where he goes under the bridge with the boy and the bike.
I'm afraid that's the incorrect answer. There's actually only 2 scenes used in the opening title sequence. The one that you mentioned of the windmill is not correct. The actual scene used was from Thomas and Bertie when he passes the windmill, because if you notice in Thomas and the Guard, he's going the other way. He's going from right to left, and in Thomas and Bertie, he's going from left to right. So that's the actual scene used. So the answer's only 2. Moving on now to Thomas Goes Fishing. How many people can be seen in the shot after Thomas rumbles over the bridge? A. 6, B. 2, C. 4, or D. 5?
It's 4.
It is indeed 4. Question 2. Who tells Thomas that engines don't go fishing? A. James, B. Gordon, or C. Henry, or D. Edward?
It's James, even though it's not directly said, but he's the only one there at the time.
Yeah, I should have said that, because obviously they say all the engines tell him, but James is actually the one on camera talking. Question 3. What is the name of the station by the river? A. Hackenbeck, B. Farquhar, C. Cronk, or D. Owlsbridge?
That one is D. Owlsbridge.
It is Owlsbridge.
It's got an out of order water tower.
Yes, but only for one episode. Hello, SteamTeam here. There's a bit of an issue with this next question, question 4. The problem is when we was recording this particular question, C. BonEsterphon's phone actually went off, and As you know, when you put like a phone near any sort of electrical equipment, like a microphone, you actually get interference, where the signals mix and such. But the point is the question was completely unaudible. You couldn't hear the question or the answer at all. So what I'm just going to do is just read the question and the options to you. They're appearing on your screen now anyway. So the question is, how many holes is the bucket said to have? A10, B5, C3 or D12? Now we haven't actually got BonEsterphon here because he only comes over on a Sunday when we record this. So I can confirm to you that he did actually get this question right. The correct answer is of course B5. I know you'll just have to take my word for it. I can promise you that he did get this question right. And now we're going back to the original recording for question 5 now. Question 5. Who arrived with the Fat Controller? A. The engineer. B. The station master. C, the inspector. Or D. The railway coal inspector.
It's C, the inspector, but you thought that an engineer could do the same job.
Well, yes, they probably could, but...
Cut the salaries.
Yeah. Thomas Terence and the Snow next, or Terence the Tractor as it's known to the US audience. Question 1. What does Terence call his wheels? A. Worms, B. Sluggers, C. Grippers, or D. Caterpillars?
It's D. Caterpillars. And I thought they were tracks, not wheels, but...
Well, they are tracks, really, but yeah, same thing. They help him to move.
They do call it wheels in the episode.
Yes, they do call it wheels in the episode, you're quite right. Question 2. When Thomas collects Annie and Clarabelle, how many workmen are stood around his snowplough? A2, B6, C4, or D5?
I'm going to say D5.
You're going to say D5?
Yeah.
Well, that's incorrect. You'd be wrong to say D5. It is C4. Question 3. Who came to pick up the passengers? A. Bulgy, B. Harold, C. Gordon, or D. Bertie?
That one was D. Bertie.
It was. He wasn't mentioned by name, but yes, it was Bertie. Question 4. When Terence is pulling Thomas out of the snow, how many times is the word tugged said? A2, B3, C4, or D5?
Well, he says he tugged and slipped and something else and tugged. So I'm going to say 2.
He says slipped twice and tugged twice. He says slipped twice and tugged twice, so yes, 2. He slipped and tugged and tugged and slipped, or something like that. Question 5. At the end, what word does Thomas use to describe Terence's caterpillar tracks? A. Useful, B. Impressive, C. Splendid, or D. Wizard?
Well, C is the only Thomasy word there that they like to use, so I'm going to say splendid.
They do use useful quite frequently, I must say. But yes, you are quite right. Question Episode 4, Thomas and Bertie, or Thomas and Bertie's Great Race. How many other buses can be seen in the depot at the beginning? A1, B2, C3, or D4?
I saw one other red one, and then I think there was 2 actually in the depot, so I'm going to say 3.
You'd be wrong to say 3. There was 2. One on the outside, you know, with his back sticking out of the shed, and there was only 1 inside the shed. Let's just take a look. Question 2. In the close-up shot of Bertie, after it is said that the road has left the railway, Bertie passes a car. What colour is that car? A. Red, B. Silver, C. Yellow, or D. Black?
You only see it very briefly. It's D. Black.
It is D. Black, yes. At Owlsbridge, what colour is the bus stop sign? A. White, B. Black, C. Red, or D. Green?
It's green. Probably should be white. This is what most bus stop signs are.
Yes, but this is Sodal we're talking about. So yes, it is green. What does Bertie say he would have needed in order to have beaten Thomas on the hill? A. Rocket fuel. B. Wings. C. Less passengers. Or D. A jet engine.
D would have been quite fun.
It would.
But no, it was, he needs wings and he needed to be an aeroplane.
He did, yes. Question 5 now. What do Bertie's passengers not like being bounced like? A. Space hoppers. B. Balls in a bag. C. Crumbs on a drum kit. Or D. Peas in a frying pan.
D's. Peas in a frying pan.
Yes, it was D's and no peas in a frying pan, yes. Lastly, but by no means least, is the episode Tenders and Turntables. Question 1. What is it said Henry and Gordon do not like? A. Pulling trucks. B. Fetching their own coaches. C. Passengers that complain. Or D. Taking orders from smaller engines.
All of them, innit? No, it's fetching their own coaches.
Yes, it is all of them, but yeah, in the episode it's fetching their own coaches. Question 2. What do the coaches call the big engines? A. Big and rude. B. Long and grumpy. C. Lazy and slack. Or D. Tiring and troublesome.
They call them lazy and slack.
They do indeed. They never get told off for calling the big engines names, you know. It's absolutely terrible. Question 3.
Asbo coaches.
Asbo coaches, yeah. Question 3. Which of the following is said to be a reason as to why the turntable will not turn when Gordon is on it? A. Strong winds. B. The fireman is not used to operating the turntable. C. The turntable was too old. Or D. Something was jamming the table.
I think it was his weight and the wind.
It was the wind and his weight, but the wind, yes, that was option A, correct. Question 4. What does Thomas joke that Gordon should get? A. 2 broad tanks. B. 6 wheels. C. 2 round buffers. Or D. A nice bunker.
It's D, a nice bunker, but he also says he should scrap his tender.
He should. Down with tenders. Now, question 5. By way of revenge, what do the big engines decide to do? A. Kidnap the Fat Controller. B. Trap the tank engines. C. Go on strike. Or D. Take their passengers to different locations.
D would be funny, but so would A, actually. No, they decide to go on strike.
They do. Right at the very end, they decide to go on strike. And we'll have to find out what happens whilst they're on strike in our next quiz. But now let's just tally up those scores. Right, we've tallied up those scores and he has got 22 out of 25. That's remarkable for someone that isn't really even a Thomas fan. Although it's not quite as good as he got last week when he got a 25 out of 25. What did you get at home? Remember to be honest. And I think that's about it. I think we're done here. So, until next time, it's bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye from me, and...
Guten Tag from me.
Doesn't that mean hello? Anyway, goodbye.